In this video, we are going to look at how do we bisect an arc, how do we bisect an angle ABC, and we would also like to dive into the construction of the 60-degree angle, 30, 15, 120, 75, 90, and 45. Now this video definitely is going to be a two-part video, so be on the lookout for the other video. So let's start. So we have a random arc here and we would like to bisect this arc. So first step, we need to go to our construction lines, and using the arc tool, center start end, I'm going to go from one point on the arc and I'm going to scribe an arc, right? So let's say I use 55. I scribe my first arc like this. I go to my arc tool again and I'm scribing another arc at 55. And now I could switch back to my object line and I'm going to draw my bisector. But my bisector has to be straight. So there we have it. Arc bisected into two equal parts. Okay, so let's move on to the other question, which is bisect an angle ABC. Now, this is the same concept we would be using throughout our entire geometrical lifespan. So this is one of the basics, this is one of the stepping. So from B, using my arc tool, right? So we need to turn off ultra mode, right? I'm going to scribe an arc to cut lines AB and BC. Okay, so I could use my cursor as a gauge, and let's say I want to go at 20. I'll type 20, press enter, and I'll scribe my arc. Now this arc here is supposed to be a construction line. Lovely. So now we could go ahead and label these points here. Point 1, and then we have point 2. When labeling your drawings, ensure that your labels does not touch the drawing. Okay, so let's move on to our other point. So we scribe our first arc. Now from point 1, we're going to use the arc tool, center start end, and we're going to scribe an arc somewhere in this center part here. So let's say we use 25, scribe the first arc. Okay, remember to change this back to construction. Right, now from point 2 as the center, I'm going to scribe the next arc. Now I need to remember the radius used is very important. So we could click on the line, then right click, quick properties, and you see I used 25 before. So I need to use that same radius when scribing my second arc. 25, let's find my other arc. Now at this point, I can switch back to object line, and from this point of intersection to this point, I'll draw a line. Now let's double check to see if this is accurate. From here to here, 18, and then we go again. From here to here, that's 18. Right, so we have this angle here. We did not know what the angle was. However, we went ahead and geometrically bisected the angle by this method, and when we confirmed, we realized that we had 18 on the lower part and 18 on the upper part. Okay, so let's move on. So let's construct a line at 60-degree angle on a line AB 100 millimeters. Now the length of the line does not matter because in this case we want to construct a 60-degree angle. Alright, lovely. So let's start. We're starting with center start end, and I'm going to use A as my center, and I'm going to scribe an arc, nice big arc, and I'll use this measurement that I have on the screen as my gauge. So I'll use 40. I'm going to scribe my arc, nice big arc. Right now, all these arcs are supposed to be in construction layer, so remember to have that. So let's say I label this point 1. Alright, now from point 1 I'm going to scribe another arc, and it has to be the same length or same radius as the initial arc, which would be 40. And once it crosses that first arc, I'm good to go. So now when I draw a line from A passing through this point, and I want to extend this line or lengthen this line a bit, I click on it, I'll hover over this line and I'll click lengthen, and there we have it. So let's confirm the angle on this. $60 degrees. Right? Now one point to note. Initially I used 40 millimeters as my radius for my arcs. However, you can use any radius that suits you. Once the radius of the first arc and the second arc is exactly the same, you will get the 60 degree. Great. So let's see if we can move on to the other angles now. So I'm going to make life easier. I'm going to copy what is needed. Let me copy the whole thing. Alright, remember if you was doing this traditionally, you would have to do this from scratch. Okay, so I'll go ahead and delete this line, and I'm going to go on using the arc tool, center start end, and this point as center. I'm going to scribe another arc at 40. As construction lines. Now we could go back to the object line, and we'll draw a line from here all the way there. I'll select, hover over the end, and lengthen. Now we can go ahead and check this angle here. So there we have our angle of 120 degrees. Right? So now I could come here and I'll change to 120. Set on the line AB 100 millimeters. So let's revise this. Initially, we scribed our first arc at a radius of 40 millimeters. Then from point 1, we scribe our second arc at a radius of 40 millimeters. Then from this point here, we'll scribe another arc to cut the first arc at a radius of 40 millimeters. So once we have the radii being exactly the same, we are good to go. We are going to get our 60, we're going to get our 120.